Welcome to this video. Today we're going to be looking at how you can use ComfyUI to convert videos into this painterly effect. This workflow is freely available on my Patreon, so you can go there and download and play around. In this example, I have this amazing shot from the movie Superman, and I'm using that in this workflow and showing bits and pieces of it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, so this is the workflow in its entirety, and we'll just go section by section. So this is the input section. This is where you load your footages. You can just load over here, and what this does is to make the processing a little faster. There's a little bit of math expression happening, which reduces the resolution by half, and that's what we use for the next section. So it's just pretty straightforward. You just put your footage over here. It will reduce the resolution by half, and then that goes into a coin reference image. So this section is basically producing an image which is of a painterly style. As you can see in my text prompt, I have convert to oil painting with thick visible strokes. So what this is doing is just generating this image over here using the coin model. You can replace it with any other Superman painting or oil painting image you want to reference instead. So the model output from the IP adapter goes into this animate diff section, which has the very standard animate diff nodes over here. And the only parameter you might want to fiddle around with is the context length. So for example, if I show in the video, so if in your output video you are seeing a lot of difference between two frames in terms of strokes, and you want things to be a little bit more smoother, in that case you can increase it to 8. I think by default it's at 4 or something. So over here I have it at 8, so things look a little smooth. That's the only parameter I tweaked over there. And then the output from that model goes into our sampling section. To just go over the sampling section, the real meat of this workflow is actually these two over here. So our base checkpoint is this hyper illustration checkpoint, which is really good at doing illustration side of outputs. And then we have this power LORA loader, which has all of these three LORAs, which gives the output that very acrylic, impressionist style of feel. And in my prompt, I have just very simple Superman flying. You don't need to be very descriptive. All of that gets concatenated into this text concat node, and with all the necessary trigger words which are necessary to trigger those LORAs. Then we have a control net section, which is okay. You can play around with it. If higher it is, the more shape it would try to follow of the input video. The lower it is, you are giving it more freedom of generating new patterns and new strokes and new forms. Denoise, I would say you can play around like from 0.1 to 0.2. Anything higher than that seems to getting too noisy, and you may start getting some weird faces and artifacts in your video which you don't want. Then finally, there's some film grain applied to the final footage, and that's what it is. And then in the video combine node, you can play around with the frame rate to get that stepping frame feel. You can put it to like 16 or 12 or whatever suits you. So yeah, that's pretty much the workflow. It's a really small one, but it gives you enough control over the effect, and you can play around with it and have different variations of sort. So yeah, please feel free to grab it from my Patreon and subscribe for more workflows like this in the future. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.